Hello, amazing viewers, millions of subscribers. It's been a while since I posted something, so I thought I'd let you know that here I am again. Nothing bad, just busy, and but I haven't been idle, and I'll show you what I've been working on, and then I'll get back to making some stuff pretty quick here. But I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers apparently, and apparently that means something. I don't know what it means, but you know, I'll be happy. However, like I said, I haven't been idle. So remember when I built the Gotha? That was one of the last ones I had up here. It's that paper model from der Kampfflieger. Well, I've always liked this airplane called the Caproni, which is an Italian bomber of the same era. And what I did was I built this der Kampfflieger Caproni bomber, 1/72nd scale. And it's an absolute wonderful little paper model. I've only done a couple things that will go up close and look at it that are different from what the model tells you to do or what the paper model of the kit is. But it's just a delightful little airplane, and again, it satisfies my need for drag and wires, which again, I'm the only person in the world that thinks that's better than an F-22 or whatever the latest thing is. But anyway, this thing turned out well, and what I want to do is show you a little bit, some of the details up close, and explain what I did as a way to sort of get back into making some more build video. All right, so here it is up a little closer, and I just want to show you a couple of things I did that I thought turned out pretty nicely. It's like I said, it's 1/72nd scale, and it's a pretty neat little machine. Starting with down here, I rebuilt this nose gear completely. And by the way, this airplane is supposed to sit like this. It is not a tricycle landing gear in the fullest sense. This wheel, I think, these wheels were really there so that the airplane did not nose over. And because it's got 3 engines, there's a pusher back there, you'd crush the crew and they'd be doused with gasoline and explode. So this is really there to keep things from nosing over, either on, I guess, takeoff or landing. But anyway, down here I had to rebuild this. This piece, for instance, is not paper, it's a balsa. And it has some bits of sprue, stretched sprue in here to added to what was in the kit. And then, of course, it's fully rigged, and so there's supposed to be, I hope you can see it, there's a little thicker piece along here that's supposed to represent some kind of a spring or something. I doubled up on the machine guns. They were a little on the skinny side, and then I also put in a stretched sprue barrel on each of them. There's 2 of them. And you can see it's completely rigged in there, and the interior is pretty cool. Just like on the Gotha, I made the steering columns 3D, so I made sure that you can actually see the spokes in there, which is nice. And all that rigging, ooh, I forgot to fix a piece down here. I should repaint that little edge down there. But all the rigging and stuff, you can see how it took a long time to figure out where all those things go, because they all go up to various places, and they're for moving, say, the ailerons and things. And I got anti-drag wires and things here. Excuse me. These are all exactly as close as I could get to what it should be. The wingtips had drawn into them wires, or it was supposed to be just a wire and a pulley here and here, and I thought that looked kind of dumb, and so I just repainted those areas. Not very well, you can see the color's not the same, but that's okay. That's just weathering. But I've added little tiny pulleys, and then I rigged them and put on, of course, aileron horns. And then I rigged them with my elastic thread so that now we have ailerons, control cables that look better, I think. I think. Another nice thing I did with this, the rear end is, of course, all rigged, etc. I think I missed a couple of pieces of rigging on there, but I figured that's good enough. It's so pretty with those 3 tails, and the colors are so pretty. I really think it's neat. But the other big headache in this, not headache, here you can see some more pulleys for the elevators and the rudder controls. but was making this thing. So this is a rear gunner, and he sits on this sort of basket in there. And so I had to use these things that looked like, for a floor and for this outside edge, some kind of thing that looked like a little chicken wire. And the rest of this is made with, like the ring here was enlarged, made it thicker, because it's just a piece of paper, but it was too thin, so I put a piece of really bendy wire, fuse wire around it to make it a little thicker. Propellers are just as they were. Everything is done just as the model suggested. All I did was paint them, and then I put some of that clear orange Tamiya color on there to make it look like they're kind of varnished. On the machine guns, I also added a little bag on the side, which I assume would be necessary to catch the spent casings, but you know, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's a possibility. Ooh, there you can see pulleys, and you can see the bottom of the cage pretty well. You can see that where the guy would stand. And it's not perfect in terms of what the pieces of connecting are really supposed to be. So in other words, they're based some on the kit and some on some things I saw online and on a really good book. But two of every couple of them, they're not the same all the time. So I think this is probably more like maybe it wasn't, but maybe it's sort of a field modification. So folks will put things together as best they could. So my point is that a lot of the wiring on here that holds it together and gives it shape might not be absolutely positively perfect in terms of what was really there. I had to make wing skids back here because they didn't have those in the kit. So those are just made, you can see how they're just very simple, but they're pretty important, I think. All of the struts, all the interplane struts anyway, are made of 32nd balsa to make them stronger, I think. But other than that, really, I have brass in these pieces right here, because these seem to be important for maintaining structure, because that's where the main wing goes on. But the thing geometrically fits beautifully, just like the Gotha. Like putting on the top wing was not a huge headache at all. Everything just fit pretty dang well, within reason, I'll put it that way. And there was nothing that made it really difficult. The hardest thing was making this little gunner's position to make it look good, and also kind of how to actually put it together. I put it together in little pieces, and it held together pretty nice. But anyway, this thing was fun to put together. It looks cool. It's a beautiful machine, and I'm very glad I bought it. I bought it from a place called War Game Vault. I'll put it up on the movie when I edit this. They have lots of neat war games, which I'm also into, but they also have their Kampfflieger's stuff, multiple paper models. I think the idea is they're easy. Well, this one wouldn't be, but they're relatively simple and easy to put together, and so you could make yourself a bunch of triplanes or a bunch of Sopwith Camels or whatever, Newports, and you can play them with some of these games that people play with them. Anyway, I really like this one. I'm really pleased with it. I love how it turned out. It's a pretty thing, and I'm just glad that I finally got a Caproni in my collection.